I know I just uploaded a video and the title is why our phone's so expensive, but I started talking about fake friends and be careful who you call a friend. I wanted to also add to that video that people who come to you in need, they're not always in need. They're using you. And sometimes it takes years, it might even take over a decade for you to sit back and be like, wow, this person really played me. So the particular girl that I was telling y'all about, I don't really consider her a friend. We met at work 16 years ago, and we go to parties together. She doesn't talk at all. Like, I could say my day was fucked up at work. She is not going to respond. I kid y'all not. So I accepted that about her because I think I told y'all I meet people where they at. So if you are a party person, I'm going to be with you at the party. If you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. If you are a texting person, that's fine too, but up to a certain point, I'm not going to always do that. I meet people where they are. So I was never the type to, well, why are you like this? But I just left it like that. But I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video, but for, I want to say maybe 2 to 5 years or 4 years, when her and I would hang out, I always paid. So me being young, and as y'all know, my son's father family, they live in Jersey. So naturally, I'm young, I had friends, but everybody had different schedules. And sometimes you just want to party, right? So this particular girl, she knew, and I kid you not, every place we went to was free, right? She always did the research. She always found out free. And we went to like really nice spots. So she was fun. However, if I want to have a conversation, she's not giving that to me. I remember my ex-boyfriend had met her, and he was like, something wrong with her. Like, he was like, what's her diagnosis? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, something wrong with her. Like, something is not right with her. Like, it's deeper than just she's quiet. But I think that's just her personality. I think she's okay with not having associates, family, and friends. And all of us have our lonely moments. But with her, it's like I told y'all in a previous video, like, she's always by herself. You will always catch her in a bar by herself, and she's okay with that. Like all of us, we go places by ourselves. Sometimes if you can't find somebody, like say for example, I love Elvana, right? I have a cousin. Well, first I asked my girl cousin. She was like, she's not available. Then I asked my boy cousin. He lives in Connecticut. He's available. If he wasn't available, then yes, I would be going by myself because I love Elvana. Now, I've seen her previously with a former friend. We went Valentine's Day, and I saw her in my neighborhood with my son. I'm pretty sure my son was with me. Maybe he wasn't. But, I've seen her before, but it's been so long. I'm going to see her again. And it's City Rhinery, as I spoke about. But anyway, so that's for me. Like, when I go by myself, is if I really want to see somebody and I can't get nobody to come with me, right? But then you have people like her, and they'll just go by themselves because they don't have a choice, right? So back to what I was saying. Yeah, so how did I know she was using me? So one day we get to Coney Island. This is 2014. And I remember it because nobody ever did this to me before. So it got me off guard. And some people, well, why would you go back and hang with her again? Lack of options, lack of options. And that's why, like, it's not until somebody else talks about somebody and then you evaluate your own life, like, hey, But like I said, I would not consider her a close friend at all. We do not talk on the phone, and even we don't even text. you know. So I have a friend who, and I consider her a friend because we actually do know things about each other. We at least text. We don't talk on the phone much, but you know, she's been there for me, and not just because of that, but she's more supportive and you know, stuff like that. But with this particular friend, she like been supportive as far as like when my son graduated and I graduated, she did give us like a gift card and stuff. So she has come a long way because she came from, she would never have money. So one day, let me get back to Coney Island, 2014. So there used to be a karaoke bar across the street, right? So we get there, and during that time it was $25, right? So I'm like, damn, you don't have at least $5? She's like, no. So I'm like, I told her, I was like, all right, my son's in Jersey. It's July 4th weekend. I don't got shit to do and I'm not trying to go home. So let's go to the city or whatever. We get to the city. You know what happened? She went to the bar and she bought herself 2 drinks, right? And this is an ongoing issue that I've had with her, right? And I never said nothing to her because it's like, we're grown. Why do I have to say, you know? But I'll never forget that because that's when I realized I was getting played. That's when I realized I was getting used. Like, all this time when you said you don't have money, she had money, she just didn't want to spend it, right? So after that, I took mental notes like, okay. So then, right after that, no, that was 2013. It was, yeah. So 2014, a week after Valentine's Day, she just was in a mood, right? It had nothing to do with me. So she did buy me a drink, and I remember because I was texting my homeboy, like, yeah, she finally XYZ. And she was dancing, and I didn't feel like dancing, right? So SOBs, if you're from the New York area, it is a spot in Manhattan that actually, they have different artists, but sometimes they won't have an artist. They'll just, you know, they'll be dancing or whatever. Her and I had went there for another event, and then this time it was just like a party or something like that. So she's like, oh, somebody stole money from her. And I was secretly happy because I'm like, karma's a bitch. Like, yeah, I felt like that was karma, you know. And then so after she put a subliminal up at me, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna, nah. So her birthday came out. I was no call, no show. I was, but nobody else showed up either. So fast forward to 2018, 19. At this point, I grew apart from like 3 people. I didn't really have a social life other than my significant other and my family. So I'm like, you know, let me reach out so we could chill again, right? And so she has improved as far as she pays for herself, but she's still fucking selfish. And I've told some people about it. I'm like, yo, we'll be at the club or a bar. She'll go get herself a drink and won't never offer me. They like, word? Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, that's how she moved. And I feel like at my age, some people might say, oh, well, maybe you should talk to her about it. We're almost 40. If I gotta tell you to share, now some people might watch this and be like, well, maybe it's because she's an only child. I'm an only child. I know how to share. Nobody had to teach me how to share. I just know that shit, right? Like, and I said all that to say this. Never feel sorry for somebody because they don't got it. They have it. They just want you to spend your money. And so she finally like came clean one day and was like, oh, you know, her mother is a certain type of way and that's why she act like that. And I'm like, you can't follow that because my mother is a certain type of way as well. And she's not in a good place in life. So you can't follow that. You gotta follow people that if you want to be like them. Just another day in Brownsville. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, reiterate that because I know I put that in the previous video. This is a continuation of, there's nothing wrong with helping people, but if you find yourself always helping somebody, they're playing you. Trust me when I say they are playing you, okay? And they will gladly say it. So I'm gonna take it back to high school. Now this particular person never used me, but they used a friend of mine, and it was fucked up how she did it because Jasmine was the type of person that she would give you anything you wanted. Like she was that type of friend. And so I remember she always used to offer, and I would say no thank you, because that's how my mother taught me, like, say no thank you, you know. There's nothing wrong with a person treating you, but don't always take from them, right? So I remember, like, there was a Popeyes near our high school. She would buy this particular girl, you know, that she thought was her friend, Popeyes. And so we would tell her, like, yo, be careful with that. So one day they canceled school. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was the weather or whatever. And her mother tells her, oh, borrow from Jasmine. Fat people always have money. And we and she thought it was funny, and none of us thought it was funny. Like, what? Like, how you setting your daughter up to use people, right? So sometimes it be a cycle, right? This same girl that used Jasmine, she stole from her. They went to Roosevelt Field, shout out to Long Island. They went to Roosevelt Field Mall one day. And so this girl, you know, she puts $300 worth of clothes inside of Jasmine's bag, right? So I remember the day when Jasmine called me, and she was like, this girl, da-da-da-da. Yeah, so this girl, unfortunately, she used to steal. She used to steal from her own job. Her and her mother used to steal together. Her mother was very fucked up to the point that she couldn't even go to college because her mother was like, oh, you gotta work and help me pay bills. Like, very, very fucked up. Her mother was very fucked up and selfish. Yeah, so I think I told this story before, but I'm telling it again. This bitch was trifling. Like, you know, she didn't go to prom because her mother was selfish, and she had the little bit of money that she had. She made her pay the phone bill and tuition. She was just a horrible mom. And she gives, like, her mom gave single moms a bad name. And it's sad because till this day, I think they still living together. I don't think she ever moved. They moved, from what I heard, to PA. I just pray, because even our mutual friends, she wasn't really close to me, but we have a mutual friend that used to live in the same apartment complex as her in Left Rack. Shout out to Left Rack. Beautiful apartment building. In Queens, by Queens Center Mall. So yeah, like, it was just this, it was crazy. And so the day they go to Roosevelt Field Mall, right, they, you know, it's silence between them, because I remember asking Jasmine, how was her behavior? Like, was she acting weird, whatever? She's like, no, she was mad quiet. That means she was calculating. They get to the store, and Jasmine was the type of friend that she would give you whatever you wanted. So for Chanel to do that, you know, oops, said her name. Oh, well. But, you know, for her to do that, it was sad, because it's like Jasmine was such a wonderful human being that she would have bought her those clothes, and we were all confused, like, wow, she's real fucked up. And then the other mutual friend, you know, she still stayed cool with her, and I was like, yo, be careful, because what she did to Jasmine, she could do to you. But eventually they grew apart because, you know, she was going back to her mother, talking about her parents and weird shit. But I said all that to say this. Be careful of people who don't have it and always have a violent story, because they do have it. They just see that you're a kind, warm-hearted person. The same way how no good men, they can come up to a vulnerable woman. It happens in friendships too. If you're vulnerable and needy, a person will take advantage of that. You know, they see that you always want to be around them, or you just, for me it was like desperation to go outside all the time, because I had enough friends, but the schedules was weird, and there was times when I wanted to party, and my son would be in Jersey, and I just wanted her company so badly. But when somebody claim that they don't have money, please leave them alone. Like, seriously, leave them alone. They always broke, leave them alone. They always don't have, leave them alone, because what's going to end up happening, you're going to get tired of the shit. You are. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, yo. And then it's like, what it boils down to is selfishness. Can you depend on this person? And I was really thinking about that. I was like, if I was to get married right now, I have a homegirl who, she parties a lot too. She's from Trinidad, but she is a giver. Like, she has her flaws, But I know if I was to get married right now, she's going to be there. She's going to buy her dress. She's going to make me the cake. She's going to do for me because she does for me now. I remember the first time, because I had went paintballing for my birthday and she couldn't make it. The very next day, she went all out for me, And I'm down for her too. I pay for her too. Like, it's an unspoken rule, right? So I have people in my life that do for me and I do for them. And that's who I'm around. And I'm not going to settle for less. And that's what I wanted to stress in this video. Like, we always talk about relationships and not settling for less. For me, at 36 years old, I'm not settling for less in my friendships either. And those are my thoughts.